So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, well, first of all, my name is Victoria Lowe, and today my team and I will be presenting what's new in ITOM AIOps. That not only includes the classic AIOps, which you know as event management, but it also includes service reliability management, health log analytics, service observability, synthetic monitoring, metric intelligence, and more. The list goes on. So we have a lot to cover today. And in the interest of having so much to cover, let me get started with the webinar right away. So again, thank you for joining. And I hope you're excited to hear about what's new for this quarter. So before I get started, just want to give a quick shout out to K25, which is coming up in the next month and a bit. And in K25, you're going to learn a lot about the newest things that we have coming out in ServiceNow, get a lot of sneak peeks into roadmap, and so much more. So if you are interested in registering for this event, oh my goodness, please sign up for this event through the QR code right here. And I am going to fix my screen share because it is not cooperating today. So apologies, I'm just gonna reshare again, and that should be good now. So apologies for that. Laptop's going a bit crazy. But yeah, so please sign up if you'd like to. Also, this deck will be available later as well as the recording. So if you're interested in joining us in any future webinars, please, oh, sorry, my screen is going a bit crazy today. First off, safe harbor notice for any forward-looking statements that we may make. Every statement that we're making today is to the best of our current knowledge, and please keep that in mind while we are talking today. We'll mainly be talking about what's new, so what we already have that has come out in the past month, but in case we may talk about anything that's coming, please keep that in mind. So if you'd like to join us at any future webinars, please sign up either through this QR code to look for any of the existing links that we have built. I mean, any of the general Live on ServiceNow webinars that we have. But if you want to look for any other specific ITOM webinars, I put the link in the chat right now on the other webinars that we have coming up. And just some housekeeping, we saved as much time as we can at the end for Q&A, but please put your questions in the Q&A module in Zoom so that other people who are on the call with me right now can help support these questions and answer them while we're presenting, because like I said today, we have a lot of content to cover. This presentation will also be recorded and shared on the ServiceNow community page in about 1 week. And after this event, you'll also be sent a survey. So if you have any feedback, feel free to give it there. And I pasted the link in the chat for the recording and deck link that will be available in approximately 1 week. And for the agenda today, again, we'll be going over AIOps service reliability management, synthetic monitoring, and service observability. And we'll go through product updates, demo presentations, feature fact sheets, useful resources, and upcoming events that all pertain to the wonderful world of AIOps. So to start off today's presentation, I want to ask a poll question to get a lay of the land on what type of people are attending today's session. So does your organization currently use ServiceNow ITOM AIOps, or otherwise you may know it as event management or maybe ITOM health? Would love to know where you're at currently so that I know the type of people that I'm talking to today. So I see the majority of you, well, now it's kind of evening out, are yes. There are many of you who have it on the roadmap, and some of you who are using a different solution or don't have one. So I hope that today is a sign that maybe you want to make the amazing change over to ServiceNow. So I'm going to end the poll right now and share out the results if anyone else is curious in the world. And let's move on to the product evolution slide. So this is a really pretty slide, nice colors, blue and green, some of my favorite colors. and it gives a very quick overview on the many innovations that we've had over the past 6 family releases. Again, this slide deck is going to be available to you after in about a week from now, so you can always refer back to that. But in the interest of time, let me move on. So one more poll question before I get started with the AIOps portion of the presentation, and that is, are you currently using the Service Operations Workspace? And I ask this because the Service Operations Workspace is the absolute key to using basically all the capabilities that we're showing you today. So if you aren't using it yet for ITOM, maybe you're using it for ITSM already, this may be your sign to start using it for ITOM as well, because you are really missing out, especially on Express List probably, because it's a live alert list. And do you really want to be refreshing your alert list? Probably not. So pretty interesting results. I'll share it out. There are a decent amount of you using it for both, but a lot of you are also only using for ITSM. So I think it's time to also use it for ITOM as well. So here is a quick overview of the major new features and enhancements of AIOps. That includes a new user experience for HLA log integrations, a new federated teams capability, which introduces a new role to ServiceNow AIOps, as well as a brand new correlation type called network traffic correlation. This also includes another new feature for alert group simulation for all grouping types, and AI search for alert investigation as well. And a quick overview of some other features that we have that I don't necessarily have detailed slides on for today are being able to group by CI attributes or additional info within the Service Operations Workspace. Again, you can already do this in other modules within ServiceNow, but now you can centrally do it in the Service Operations Workspace. And being able to add an alert in Express List in the Express List itself, and some new HLA data inputs and some improvements for HLA engine stability, which is essentially we remove the dimensions limit for metric base, which makes the HLA engine much more reliable and stable as well. And some other minor enhancements are some new ACCM checks and the service map opening in context of alerts when you're opening the service map from Express List. So that was a really quick overview, but let me go into more detail about the major features that we have and some minors as well. So the first one that I want to go over is the new experience that we have for HLA log integrations, because what we want to do is we want to make the experience much more streamlined and easier for users to set up log integrations for health log analytics. And if you didn't already know, health log analytics is our capability where we can detect anomalies in your logs, not storing the logs, not just doing other things that aren't really important necessarily, but actually finding out issues in your logs and identifying them and raising them alerts before your other monitoring tools will even recognize that. So we want to improve the experience for users to integrate these types of sources so that you can leverage health log analytics, so that when you're setting it up, it reduces any hurdles that you may have with issues and clearly explains to you the process of what you need set up and what the streaming status is of these various integrations that you have in your instance as well. So right here, we can see a nice screenshot of the streaming status page. And you can also see, if you didn't already notice, that this is in the Experience of Integrations Launchpad, because we want to centralize all the integrations within the Integrations Launchpad in the Service Operations Workspace, so that you can do all your work in one space, including the setup of your AIOps solution without having to navigate out of the Service Operations Workspace. Again, streamlining your experience. And the first integrations that we introduce this new experience for are TCP, UDP, Elasticsearch, and the ServiceNow Glide Syslog integration. So these integrations will have this new experience that I'm showing you today in the Integrations Launchpad. If you are on Yokohama or Xanadu Patch 4 and you update your AIOps Experience Store app. And on to the next is federated teams for AIOps. So federated teams introduces not only a brand new role to event management, but also a new option on how to approach AIOps, depending on your organization's operating structure. This new role for a team operator allows these federated or distributed teams to focus on their own integrations that they manage, the alerts that matter to them, and their own automations that apply to just their alerts. And this focused view of the service operations workspace for these team operators reduces noise and distractions that otherwise don't actually apply to their team. So setting up these types of teams are quite straightforward. All you have to do is just set up a group as an administrator with whatever team name that you would like to name this team, and add the users that you would like to this group. And these users must have the new role of event team operator assigned to them. It's important that you do not assign other roles to these types of users who are team operators, because it can impact the focus view in the service operations workspace. So please keep this in mind. And if you want to leverage this, it's part of AIOps if you're already using AIOps. And all you have to do is upgrade to Yokohama and update the event management core store app as well. And next up, we have network traffic-based alert correlation, which is a brand new alert correlation type, and not only just alert correlation, but automated alert correlation. And this new network traffic-based correlation type leverages the data from your service mapping candidates generated by using Service Mapping Plus to group alerts together. And so by leveraging this existing data of network traffic-based relationships between processes, not only can alerts be correlated together, but it allows you to still get value throughout your service mapping journey. And additionally, this new correlation type can also help you understand which service candidates could actually be promoted to real services based off of what's being grouped together. And network traffic correlation is also going to already be supported in alert analysis, which is one of our analysis for ITOM capabilities, as well as link view, which is our topological view of alerts so that you can understand the relations between underlying processes, metrics, and other information that we have in ServiceNow as well. So again, this is a really important feature and a really awesome feature in general because it lets you have another way to correlate alerts and also just helps you figure out what other service maps that you could actually promote to real service maps as opposed to going through the list manually yourself. So this is available through the Yokohama family release, and you also must be using the Service Mapping Plus Store app on your instance already. And we also have alert automation enhancements. And the first enhancement that I want to talk about is that we want to make it easy for users to configure and manage their alert automations in the service operations workspace. And specifically for alert group automations, we found it very valuable to have a feature to enable users to simulate the new alert grouping automations that they're trying to create. And the specific enhancement that we have for this release is that we want to enable users to simulate their new grouping criteria for all group types so that you can simulate it as if you were in the production environment. This reduces the time needed for testing because you could leverage this in your subprod environments, but you could also test this in your production environments and see the impact on real alerts that you've had coming into your environment. And this is really great because now you can't just see your alerts in isolation, but you can see the impact of all the other various grouping types that are taking place in your instance as well. So this is an enhancement to our existing capability for alert group simulation to make it more accurate as if it were like in production. So this is going to be available through the Yokohama family release, as well as you would need to upgrade the AIOps Experience Store app. And you may also notice that one of the biggest things that I keep on putting in the slides is that you need to upgrade the AIOps Experience Store app because that is where many of our newest innovations are coming from. So if you don't already have this in your instance, I do recommend installing it so that you can start getting value of not all the features I'm showing you today, but a vast majority of them. And one of the other enhancements that we have for the alert automation capability is that we're also now supporting CI attribute and additional info alert grouping directly in the service operations workspace so that you don't have to navigate outside of the service operations workspace to create alert grouping criteria for CI attributes or additional info so that you can easily set it up here now and also leverage the existing alert group simulation capabilities that I just talked about in the last slide as well. And our enhancement for analysis for ITOM is that we're also now leveraging AI search for alert investigation. Alert investigation originally came out in Q4 of 2024, where we were supporting searching for related incidents based off of the CI. But now by leveraging AI search, this reduces the dependency on a mature CMDB and allows you to still leverage the very useful capabilities of alert investigation to search for past incidents that may not necessarily be on the same CI that could help you resolve the current issue that's being raised in your alert itself. So not only are we just searching for these incidents, we're not just listing them for you and being like, this is the 5, or these are the 5 incidents that we think are the most relevant for you, but we're going further and providing more information on when this last happened, the criticality of these past incidents, as well as the person who solved them or the team that they're a part of. So if anything, you know who you could contact as a starting point to resolve this issue that you don't otherwise maybe know how to solve yourself. And we also go another step further and go through the resolution notes of these closed or resolved incidents and summarize the steps that were taken in order to resolve these past incidents as well. So this is a really amazing feature that now not only uses CI, but uses AI search to search for these related incidents to help you reduce the time needed for investigation of historical incidents, and summarizes all the information for you so that you don't have to go through all these individual incidents yourself and waste more time looking for this. We want to be able to just present this information to you so that you can immediately action it. And so I will just say very vaguely, watch out for the Q2 release because we may or may not have enhancements for similar capabilities. This is where the safe harbor notice applies, but yeah, please look forward to upcoming enhancements that we have for just not analysis features, but just for all of AIOps in general as well. And for the last of my general slides before I do a quick demo of some of our new features, I just want to also go over how you can also now add alerts to alert groups in Express List. Previously, you could easily remove alerts from alert groups, but now you can also easily add them back in to the alert groups as well. All you have to do is click on the alert group and select a quick action. And in the quick action, you'll have some group actions that allow you to add alerts to the alert group. And you can select the alerts that you want added and hit add. And then automatically, just like that, it'll be added to the alert group in Express List now so that you don't have to navigate elsewhere to modify alert groups. And right before I move into my demo, I just want to shout this out specifically. So you may have noticed this at the bottom of some of my slides so far that there's been this QR code and all. And we want to ask you who are attending today if you would want to participate in a 60-minute designer interview because we'd love to hear your feedback on what we have coming out. We'd love to also hear your ideas on what you would like from our amazing product for AIOps, which includes like event management, alert automations, health log analytics, analysis for ITOM, and so on. And we'd love to hear from you. And so if you'd like to participate, feel free to sign up for a 60-minute design interview, either through the QR code on the screen right now or through the link in the chat that I have posted as well. So please feel free if you would or would not like to sign up. but we love to hear from you. And this is a great opportunity to talk to us directly. So without further ado, let me go into a quick demo on what we have coming out. So let me first go here. And so first off, I want to go over the new experience for Health Log Analytics integrations. So right now I'm in the integrations launchpad. And again, I'm in the service operations workspace, specifically leveraging the capabilities of ITOM in the SO. Now I'm going to start calling the service operations so that I don't have to say all those 3 words every single time. But Integrations Launchpad is one of the capabilities of that really cool AIOps Experience Store app that I was telling you about that you should probably install if you haven't already. And there are several integrations that we have for events, logs, metrics here. And so what we're doing now is that we are introducing some new options and new user experiences for some of the log integrations. So one of the log integrations that has been updated to this new user experience is TCP. There's also UDP. There's also the glide syslog integrations and Elasticsearch. But today I'm going to show you the new TCP experience. So right now, just like any other event integration that we have in an integrations launchpad, we have the guided setup experience, making it a lot easier. And so right now, I've already inputted some of the names, including the or information, including the integration, the service, the mid server, and the port that I want to access. And once I'm ready, I'm going to click next. Another thing I want to raise is that if there were any issues in anything that I'd enter, an error would immediately be generated so that I know immediately that I have to correct something so that downstream my setup isn't impacted. So if I had another integration on the same port, for example, which today I won't, but if there were, an error would be immediately generated once I hit next because I already have another integration using the same port. But let's see if I get any errors using what I'm using today. And apparently I do have something actually using the same port already. So let me change it. That genuinely was not planned, but here we go. So hopefully that port is not being used on the same mid server. And it is actually still being used because I probably demoed this before, unfortunately. So let's do this. Okay. Well, this is a great example of all the errors that can be shown. So let's see. And just like that, I probably had another integration called TCP integration 2, and now I can see all the various errors that could be generated. And once I'm ready and everything's set up and no errors are being generated now, I can easily hit activate and activate the integration that I have here. And once it's activated, then over time, you will see the streaming status. And if at any point there's any issues, there'll be an X that appears in any of these various steps, whether it's connecting to the mid server or streaming to the AI engine or generating alerts as well. So throughout the process, you'll be able to see the status and whether it's successful or not. And so the next few things I just want to show you are just the new experience for federated teams. And like I mentioned, sorry, oh, I see myself, Victoria Team Operator. Now, if you are using the Service Operations Workspace as a team operator, you get a focused view. So like I was saying, you get access only to alerts that are assigned to one of your groups. And this is a fixed filter so that I can only see the specific alerts that are generated from these integrations from the tools that are assigned to my assignment groups. And so we can see that the assignment group here was assigned to Federated Team 2. And because I'm part of Federated Team 2, I can only see these alerts here. So again, this is a very focused view, and I could also set up my integrations as I'd wanted to. But if you wanted to access all the alerts, you could also just have these traditional event management operator role instead of the event team operator role. But this helps support the use case of distributed teams who may focus only on specific event integrations. And last but not least, very quickly, I just want to show you what a network traffic-based correlation looks like. So right now we can see all the various ML-powered candidates from Service Mapping Plus, and we can see that there are a bunch, and it would take a lot of time to go through all these individually and figure out which is actually useful. And so now we can actually use this data, and you can also disable it if you don't like it, but to actually have a group of alerts. And so we see right here that of these alerts that we have grouped right here, in link view, we can easily see that here, the processes that have been identified in this group are Postgres and Nginx. And this gives me a good starting point into looking back here into the service mapping candidates and looking for service candidates with Postgres and Nginx and identifying maybe that I should look into this a bit more and figure out if I should promote this to a real service map. And so that are just the short demos that I want to share with you today. And let me now hand it over to Dennis to talk about service reliability management.
Thanks, Victoria. Share my screen. Hello, everyone. So my name is Dennis Guiding. I'm an outbound PM supporting AIOps as well as SRM. And today I will cover the SRM, what's new. But before I start, there is a poll question. How does your monitoring team respond to alerts when they are away from their desk? Start the poll. Email. I see messaging devices like Teams and Slack. End the poll. Right, so we see 47% has said that they typically get notified via Teams and Slack, 42% via email, and 11% actually have to run back to the desk as fast as possible. So, right, so I'll start. So for SRM, the major feature we'll be covering is the SRM mobile agent, which is currently in Innovation Lab. It's planned to be generally available in May. So historically, SRM workflows have been desktop first, right? So meaning you have to run back to your desk whenever you get a notification, which requiring responders to be at their desk to manage alerts and incidents. With this release, SRM Mobile Agent brings instant response to mobile devices, allowing responders to acknowledge, assign, as well as manage those alerts anytime from anywhere. Users will receive a real-time push notification, providing instant awareness of these critical alerts. When an alert comes in, responders can log into their ServiceNow agent. Uh, the agent app is available today. If you have the ITSM mobile agent, it's available on the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. Enable users to take immediate action. This really brings ServiceNow SRM on par with other competitors in the space by offering a fully integrated mobile experience, and as well as eliminating the need to using third-party solutions. The next one is the first minor feature I'll cover is express list support. So Victoria already showed you some express lists already. So this enables SRM responders now to have instant access to real-time operational insights, a capability that's been a core part of our AIOps offering for several years. This means SRM responders can quickly view, filter, and act on critical alerts, improving situational awareness and allowing for faster decision-making. The next minor feature is assigning teams to technical service offerings, or TSOs. A major challenge in incident response today is ensuring the right teams responsible for the right services. This feature solves that by linking SRM teams directly to technical service offerings, which enhances service ownership clarity and ensures faster incident response time. By integrating its capability into CSDM best practices, teams now have better visibility into the service's health and provide greater accountability, reducing confusion and speeding up service recovery. And finally, the last major feature is SLO enhancements. So if you're using the solution today, we added this capability in initial release of SRM, which is service level objectives. The capability that we added here, improvements we added here, is during critical business periods. It's been challenging today when poorly timed changes occur to your SLO and leads to violations and service outages. With this update, change approvals are now dynamically enforced based on real-time SLO metrics, such as error budget consumption and burn rate trends. This ensures that changes are only approved when they align with service reliability goals, reducing operational risk as well as service disruptions. Now, going back to the major feature, which is the SR mobile agent. So we're bringing real-time mobile-first incident response directly into ServiceNow, eliminating the need again for third-party solutions. Responders now have instant push notifications where they can acknowledge as well as assign and resolve alerts directly from the mobile device. Again, this is available today on the iOS and Android App Store. And I have time for a demo. Right? So if you see my screen, I'm on my mobile device, and I got this notification a little while ago. So I'm going to select it, and this brings me directly into the mobile app. Click that alert. So I see that I'm receiving an alert, it's critical. I'm having an HTTP 500 internal server error. I have some more description information there. The configuration items LOSN 325, which is live in ServiceNow today's date. I can see some more activity related to it. Right, so it has not been acknowledged yet. It says delivery is critical, and that's the time it occurred. I can also see any related information as well, if there's any secondary alerts or any alert execution that occurred. What I can do here is I can click it and assign it. I'll assign it to myself. Submit it. And now I took over this case, so I'll look at it. So I can see when I go back to the app, I can see all my alerts, all that's been open, all that's been closed. I can also see all of my incidents, what's open as well as what's been resolved, and some more information below as far as incident risk, breach incidents, change task, or catalog task. I can also see my on-call schedule, what's the upcoming shifts, who's responsible for those shifts. I can also make a time off request from here as well as who is on call today. Right, these are the different shifts. See, okay, so I'm the primary contact here. I can also look at my teams. So my team's dashboard, if there's any incidents at risk, breach incidents, or overdue changes, what's been unassigned today. So there's been a lot of alert that has not been assigned yet, as well as unassigned incidents. At the bottom, I can see activity over time. So I see that I have a lot of incidents been going up, but it's starting to come down over the past 46 weeks. And if there's any major incidents, so we also integrate major incident management as well. And I can see all my notifications. There, I can share my screen again. All right, to end it off. So how do you activate this? So you do need the ITSM mobile agent, which today it's available in the store. And the piece you need for Innovation Lab is the ITOM mobile plugin. That's the piece that activates the SRM component. You also need our ServiceNow agent. From a technical standpoint, again, this enhances the SRM responders' efficiency, reducing incident response times and minimizing service disruptions. It also streamlines the workflows for SREs and team leads, enabling faster issue resolution and much more reliable service delivery. And from a licensing standpoint, you do need ITOM AIOps Professional, as well as ITSM Standard. And again, you can try this today, but keep in mind that you can only enable this on subprod instances because it's an Innovation Lab release. And I'll hand it over to Parker. Thank you. If you have any questions, please post it on chat.
Thanks, Dennis. All right. I will close out by talking about some new capabilities we're calling ITOM Observability, and we're starting with a feature called Service Observability. To start, we'll do a poll question. So we're curious, what monitoring tool or observability tools does your organization currently use? You can, of course, select more than one. We know that a lot of organizations use multiple monitoring tools, which has fed into why we're building Service Observability. There's a lot of SolarWinds, a lot of Splunk and Dynatrace, even a little bit of Logic Monitor and a whole lot of others. This is great. So if you're interested in monitoring, or if you have a lot of monitoring and observability tools, you are probably interested in what we're building with Service Observability. I'll get into all of the actual features that we're building, but the ITOM observability kind of investments for 2025 are fourfold. The first is just simplifying getting data into the platform. This is both getting data into the platform directly by way of like ACC or third-party agents, open source standards like OpenTelemetry, but also using data that exists in other platforms and querying it remotely, which I'll talk about here in a moment. We are doing a lot in the service reliability and monitoring space just to make it easier to measure and improve and just overall manage your service resilience. A lot of what Dennis just showed in the SRM mobile app. We also have agentic observability, which we'll be talking more about a little bit later this year at Knowledge. We have some really cool demos, but essentially we understand that there's a lot of automation potential when it comes to monitoring and responding to critical incidents. And even we understand that other tools have their own approaches to agentic observability, and we look forward to connecting our agents and theirs. So stay tuned at Knowledge for more on that. But the focal point of a lot of this is service observability, and it is a new set of views that give you a service-centric understanding of your issues, your service and infrastructure health, changes, and a lot of other useful context that exists not only across ITOM and the ServiceNow platform, but also across other monitoring tools. We go into and talk with a lot of customers who are looking to enable their operations team to do more when they're responding to incidents, when they're triaging. They're often put in a situation where they are surrounded by SMEs. They have an alert that's escalating, turns into an incident, and they're trying to figure out who is responsible. Who do I loop in to help me understand this incident and actually mitigate or respond to it? And oftentimes, all of those different SMEs have their own set of tools. And these are all for really valid reasons, right? You might have an infra team that's using Datadog and a network team that's using Logic Monitor because they both have features that the other don't. You might have an app dev team that's using App Dynamics or Dynatrace, and they have baked in API calls to their agents all throughout their applications, so they can't migrate away from those tools. And your platform team might be using Splunk for logging, and to migrate away from that would take time that they don't have. And so oftentimes operations is put in a position where they have to reach out to all those different people, get them on a call, and ask them to go through their tools to try and figure out, is what I'm seeing in ITOM aligned with what you're seeing in your tool? And if so, can you help me root cause this? And we think that we have the ability with service observability to link all of these different worlds and domains together, not only from a workflow perspective, but from a data perspective. And this starts with a new service observability or service overview tab. This is accessible from Express List when you're triaging alerts. It's available in Service Map. It's available through SRM. Essentially, when you're looking at a service, you can now get dropped into a new landing page that provides you with a modern kind of data-dense look at things like SLIs. So these are metrics like throughput to the service, error rate of the service, latency of the service. All of these metrics are being pulled from third-party tools. So there's no requirement to like re-instrument or replace an agent that exists in a particular service. This means that you can kind of connect the dots quickly, but it also means that operations has autonomy. They can bring more data into ITOM and empower their operators to do more in their workflows without having to go ask the service owners to do a bunch of re-instrumentation or heavy lifting. But it's also a way to connect with other data within ITOM. So you'll see that we have recent changes, we have open incidents and open alerts, and these aren't just for the service itself, but it's also for everything downstream, all of the child dependencies of that service. So if you have hosts that are running a service, if you have other infrastructure, all of those related incidents get put onto this one new service health kind of overview page. We also have a new pane called observability. And this is where we're putting today 3 sets of metrics. We've got application runtime metrics, things like throughput, error rate, and latency. We also have compute infrastructure, so CPU utilization, memory utilization, and disk utilization with a list of all of your active hosts that are running the service in question. And then finally, database metrics as well. So if you're using something like MySQL or Postgres, we can pull relevant metrics from those databases. And this allows operators to not only look at alerts and see, okay, what service is this responsible for? They can take that next step. They can go into these service observability page and they can start looking through relevant metrics. And when they're doing that, they're querying those third-party tools remotely. There's a lot more metrics coming in recent or in upcoming releases. At launch, we support New Relic and Dynatrace, but later this year, we have a whole bunch of other providers that we're building integrations for, including some of the ones that you saw on the poll question. If you do have any interest in kind of guiding our direction here, we are very eager to talk to you. So feel free to leverage the QR code that was shared earlier. We also have one coming up that will link you directly to our product team. And again, just to affirm, while we will have some support later this summer for being able to use metrics that exist on platform in metric base, today, this is just reaching out and querying tools like Dynatrace and New Relic remotely. So this gives us a lot of agility, a lot of speed. It gives operations teams the ability to bring more insight into ITOM without having to do a lot of heavy lifting or pay for like metric ingestion. You can activate it through a store app. It's available today. There's really great in-product guided setup for connecting to New Relic and Dynatrace. We do require tags in the APM tools. We have a video on YouTube that walks through all of this service observability in the community, ServiceNow community YouTube channel if you want to learn more. You can also use the QR code in the top right. It does require ITOM Enterprise v3. And if you do discover additional resources through that integration, it will, of course, be a part of the SU consumption. And I will note that this is a V1 release. Our ambitions here are not modest, I'll say. So we're excited to be adding some stuff later this summer. I'll show you a demo here very briefly, but before that, and this is a link to the Service Observability product team. This will get you directly in touch if you want to see a more in-depth demo, if you have questions about setting things up, if you'd like to work with us as a design partner or help influence the integrations that we build next. Another ITOM observability feature that we're building is called synthetic monitoring. And essentially, this will allow you to use your existing ACC instances to run HTTP checks 24/7, 365, as frequently as once per minute. The benefit here is that you're using ACC agents that you've already deployed or that you could deploy quickly. This means that they work behind a firewall. If you have private resources like websites or API endpoints that you want to make sure are always available and resilient, you can make sure that those are accessible by spinning up a synthetic monitor against them. Today, we'll tell you if the status code that's returned is anything other than the status code you define. So if you want it to be a 200 and it returns a 503, you can open an alert against the resource API or the resource CI or the attached service. And it's really easy to set up. Again, this is a store app as well. You can select your HTTP method. You can choose query parameters or credentials to help route the request. Super easy to get going and starts providing value and another stream of kind of context. There's two store apps you can download, and you do need to have ACC instances to run these from. It does require ITOM Enterprise, but because these are running from your ACC instances, there's no kind of consumption of SUs. Now, let me go ahead and show you a quick demo. So this is a service observability. We've gone in through services, and I've selected a service that I have configured. If you don't configure a service, like order status. We'll walk you through the steps to do this. Super easy to do. All it takes is connecting an observability source using the Dynatrace or New Relic plugin and doing some really quick data mapping so that we know what New Relic service to attach to ITOM or to the service in ITOM. Once you've done that, we start pulling in all of these relevant metrics. So we've got those KPIs for throughput, error rate, and latency at the top. We have transaction metrics. We also have some CI information. So if there's any recent changes associated with not only the service, the checkout service, but anything else, any DBs, any VMs, those are all placed up here as well. We've got relevant SLOs accessible to you. One of the things that I think is really cool here, outside of just bringing more data into ITOM and putting it in front of your operators, is that we start bringing more data from across ITOM. So with all of the different kind of product features that we have, we're bringing that into this landing page as well. It makes them very accessible for folks, which is especially useful if they're kind of operating in a crisis scenario or in an incident response scenario. In the observability tab, we've got all of the different groups of metrics that I discussed earlier. As I mentioned, later this summer, you'll have the ability to customize these metrics as well, so stay tuned for that. But this is service observability. Again, if you have the desire to kind of check this out, there is a link in chat, I believe, but let us know. And synthetic monitoring is this cute little heart with a heartbeat line running through it. To set up a new test, it's super easy. You can click New Synthetic Monitor, give your monitor a name, and then you can select any kind of HTTP method here. You can select your HTTP endpoint CI. If you haven't configured one of these, we also make it super easy to do that. There's a link to set up your new HTTP endpoint CIs here. You can optionally configure a related service CI. So if you want to degrade the service health, or if you want to open an incident against a service, you can do that as well, optionally. And then, as I mentioned, you can set credentials using on-platform credentials that you're storing. You can also use query parameters or custom headers or body text to kind of route things appropriately internally. You select your location. These are just pools of ACC monitors. And then you select your assertion. Today, it's simply just status code. We'll tell you if it doesn't return the status code that you want it to, but later this summer, we'll have the ability to look at response time and response text as well. And it runs as frequently as once per minute. And then once this is done, we'll go back. We now have these checkout or synthetic monitoring pages. It tells you the endpoint CI that we're checking against. It opens up an alert, in this case against a related service CI. And we've got all of our historical checks here that we can pop open and see response text, that sort of thing. In this case, super basic HTTP bin endpoint that we're hitting, so we don't have a response body, but it becomes really useful imagining a scenario where you have a service that is degraded. You get an alert from synthetics. You can see that this is a new alert kind of that has started to fire, and you go right into service observability. So with that, I think that's it for me. So I'll pass back to Victoria.
Thanks, Parker. Very impressed with how fast you went through everything. So I hope everyone learned everything that they came here to learn today. We have a lot of useful resources coming out, or well, that coming out as in I'll put them in the chat in a second, which I hope you will find useful. And please stick around because I think these are pretty useful for everyone. So right now in the chat, I pasted several links. So the first link that we have, it's also going to be in the deck if you can't click it for whatever reason, is the ServiceNow Community Product Hub for ITOM. So people ask questions. We also post many blogs. So if you want to see what's new and upcoming before we even have these webinars, you may be able to learn something there, as well as the AIOps resource library, where we have links to all of our store apps, summaries on all of our capabilities, and so on. And then Parker talked about the service observability demos. Demo part 1 that I have linked here and in the chat is for setup. And then part 2 is seeing the actual service observability data in action in the service operations workspace. And then we also have a synthetic monitoring demo here as well. As well as you may have recalled me saying how we can monitor ServiceNow syslog, so your instance logs. And we also have a demo showing how you can set that up on your instance today. And it's really easy. So all of these videos really show how easy it is to set up all these things. So I do encourage you to look at all of these if you haven't already before. And if it goes to the next slide, we also have some more events coming up. So in the context of this webinar, again, the links and everything, the deck will be available in approximately 1 week from now. And apologies, I pasted the wrong thing in there. But everything, the deck and the recording will be available in approximately 1 week. And then in the context of the other sessions that we have coming up, we have a additional What's New webinars for APAC as well as Japan in the upcoming weeks. So if in any case you may have other team members who couldn't make the session because it's not as good for their time zone, please feel free to sign up for these webinars. These will be available in the ITOM webinar link for Live on ServiceNow, right where you signed up for this webinar. We also have a deep dive into service observability on April 8th, where we will show you how to make data-driven decisions based off of business impact by leveraging service observability. So be sure to sign up for that. And we'll also have AIOps office hours in a North America, Europe friendly time zone on April 29th, where product management, technical and outbound will be available to answer any of the questions that you may have to help you with deployment. And we have some AIOps power hours coming up in May and June, so keep an eye out for those as well. And we also have some upcoming customer workshops, and those are updated normally during the throughout the year as we come across new dates. So the newest one we have coming is in April on the 7th, as well as some more workshops on May in Riyadh and Dubai as well. So we're still coming up with new dates and new locations. So please check the community blog for anything upcoming as well. So yeah, that wraps it up for today. If you're still interested in signing up for any of our other collaboration opportunities, feel free to use the links that have already been posted in the chat. And yeah, so thank you again for attending the session today. Please feel free to ask any additional questions in the chat if you have any. And if anything, talk to you in the next release webinar in a few months from now, and hopefully see you in other webinars that we'll be hosting very soon.